The relationship between Russia and NATO is not simple, although it shouldn't be dramatized either. All calls for limiting cooperation between Russia and the North Atlantic Alliance are two-edged, and to be honest, this will hurt NATO states more. We don't see anything dramatic in putting our relations on hold if our partners long for it, but I think our partners will lose more.
On August 26, you announced that a military response to the anti-missile shield in Europe is possible. Should we be afraid of confrontations that have never happened, even during the Cold War?
I would ask our honourable partners to pay attention to the fact that it's not we who are extending our borders in Europe, it's NATO. It's not us creating new bases, it's NATO. It's not us building new anti-missile shields, it's NATO. And Russia has not responded so far. Instead, we have continued dialogue. We said, why do you need this? But if the decision to place missiles is made, if the radar is on, then we'll have to react to that, because no good explanations have been presented to us.
After the conflict in Georgia, some states bordering Russia, Moldova, the Baltics, Ukraine in particular, expressed their concerns. And also taking into consideration the building of the anti-missile shield in the Czech Republic and Poland, how will you respond to the concerns of your neighbors?
We won't respond to the concerns of others. We would like to respond to our own concerns, with NATO's expansion and the growing level of arms around Russia. As for our partners, if we talk about the Baltic states, I think they have phantom pains. Nobody is threatening them. It's just a way of keeping the political elites in a slightly excited mood. Ukraine is a separate subject. I think our closest neighbour now has a great chance to answer one simple question. How do you provide for your safety? If they think the way to provide safety is to join NATO, then at least only do it after the Ukrainian people get a chance to vote in a referendum on Ukraine's entrance. Because they are doing it behind the backs of the people, signing some documents, even though the Ukrainian people did not agree. Where is the democracy? And finally, Moldova. I think that is a completely different situation. Not so long ago, President Voronin came. We discussed the situation in Transnistria, and I think we have good options to end this matter. I will be meeting with the Transnistrian side, so this is a separate subject in which Russia is ready to lend intermediary services.
Someone in the West started to talk about Russia's expulsion from the Group of Eight, and Russia's market responded. Also, major Western investors are also said to be displeased. Aren't you afraid that Russia will have to pay for the conflict economically and financially?
As for the economy, any economy suffers during conflicts. But if we talk about fund rates, they suffer not because of the conflict in Georgia, but due to the condition of the largest economy in the world, the American economy. I've already told my American partners it's necessary that they secure themselves in that field, begin to restore the mortgage system, try to add liquidity to the financial markets, just follow their financial rates. Because war usually does not make the situation better. What goes on in our trade market is 80% due to negative events taking place in America, and only 20% are maybe the consequence of the problems in Georgia.
Mr. President, you are the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. Can you explain how responsibility is divided between you and Prime Minister Putin?
The division of responsibilities happens according to the Constitution. The responsibilities of the Prime Minister and President are documented there. Russia is a presidential republic. The President has great power, including the right to use military forces. It's my responsibility, and I have to make that decision.
To solve the crisis in Georgia, Italy suggested a conference in Rome. In one of the interviews for our television company, President Saakashvili agreed to participate. Will you come to Rome to discuss the peace settlement?
Of course, we're open to discussing anything at conferences and other international forums, but we would like the international community to remember who started the aggression, who's responsible for killing people, and what price has been paid. As for the Georgian authorities, we think the current regime has discredited itself, and to us, President Saakashvili no longer exists. He's a political corpse. But we're open to discuss any issues, including that of the post-conflict settlement in the region.